The spear shatters against the scaled skin. The stench of swamp and old blood fills my lungs as the Hydra, an abomination of 7 heads born from the nightmare of a dead god, lunges at me. My shield, the last vestige of my honor as a Spartan hoplite, is dented and broken. My body, a map of wounds that burn like the fire of Tartarus. I have been fighting this beast for an hour, or perhaps a day. Time does not exist in the forest of weeping shadows, only exhaustion and the approaching end. One of the heads lunges forward, fangs dripping with black venom that dissolves stone. I roll across the ground, mud and dead leaves clinging to my sweaty skin. My sword severs a tendon, buying me a single second. It is not enough. Another head strikes my flank, hurling me against the trunk of a petrified tree. The air escapes my lungs in a strangled groan. The 7 heads rise, poised for the final strike. I close my eyes. So this is my end. Not in the glory of battle beside my brothers, but alone, devoured by a monster in a forest forgotten by the gods. An unworthy end for Arian, the man who led 300 Spartans to their death. Now! The scream is not human. It is powerful, feminine, and it resonates with the strength of the earth itself. I open my eyes just in time to see an arrow as thick as my thumb and buzzing with silver light impale the Hydra's central head. The beast roars in pain and surprise. From the gloom of the forest, a figure emerges, one that my fevered, exhausted mind refuses to accept. The upper half is that of a woman, with bronzed skin and hair like a wild, dark mane. Her arms are taut, holding a bow carved from white wood. But from her waist down, the body is that of a majestic war horse, chestnut red in color, muscles trembling with power. A centaur, or rather, a centauress. I thought they were only legends meant to frighten children. She looses another arrow and another. Each one finds an eye, a neck, a vulnerable joint. The creature turns toward her, forgetting me. It gives me the breath I need. Forcing myself upright, every muscle screaming in protest, I grasp my broken sword. If I am going to die, I will do it, standing. She gallops to my side, her hooves barely making a sound on the forest floor. The throat, she tells me, her voice like the rumble of distant thunder. Its power lies in the knot of throats in its chest. We run together. She is the storm, loosing arrows to distract the serpentine heads. I am the spear, the final strike. I leap over a root, push off the creature's body as a ramp, and drive the remains of my sword into the mass of flesh where the 7 necks converge. A scream rips through the air, and the beast collapses, convulsing, until it lies still. The silence that follows is heavier than the roar. The black venom seeps into the earth, killing everything it touches. I fall to my knees, trembling, the adrenaline draining from my body. The centauress approaches, her face showing no triumph, only a deep, ancient weariness. She bears a wound at her side, a vicious venom burn that still smolders. "You have fought well for a mere mortal," she says, her breath misting in the unnaturally cold air. "I am not mere," I rasp, spitting blood. "I am an exiled Spartan. A ghost who does not yet know he is dead." She stares at me, and her eyes, deep hazel, seem to see beyond my wounds. They seem to see the massacre at the pass of Thermopylae, the tactical mistake that cost my men their lives, the shame that drove me to flee into this cursed land. "I know," she whispers. "That is why you are here. This forest feeds on pain. It calls to broken souls like moths to a black flame. And that is why I need you. I try to laugh, but the sound twists into a dry cough. Need me? You just saved my life. I have nothing to offer. You are wrong, she says. And for the first time, I see desperation crack through her facade of strength. My name is Lyra, and I am the last female of my kind. I stare at her, confused. The last? What happened to the others? The same curse that spawns monsters like this, she says, pointing at the dead Hydra with her bow, is killing my people. It is a plague in the soul of this forest, a poison that renders the earth barren, and us as well. No foals have been born in a generation. The males die in meaningless battles, consumed by the rage that seeps from this place. The females, we wither, like flowers without sun. Soon, there will be nothing left. She kneels, a strangely graceful movement for such a powerful creature, bringing her face level with mine. I can see the pain etched into her features. For years, we have searched for a solution, a champion. The oracles whispered a prophecy, only a mortal hand, guided by the last daughter of the earth, can tear out the heart of the blight. But not just any mortal. It must be someone who has already died inside. Someone whose spirit is so broken the forest cannot break it further. Someone who has nothing left to lose. She looks straight into my eyes. I need you to be my weapon, Spartan. I need you to carry the light of Sylvanus to the heart of the withering and destroy the source of the curse. My mind spins. A prophecy? A champion? It sounds like the stories my mother used to tell me. But the dead Hydra at my feet and the wounded Centaurus before me are terribly real. And what do I gain from this? I ask, my voice harsher than I intended. The survival instinct of a soldier. What do you want? She replies instantly. Redemption? If you save my people, your name will not be remembered as the butcher of 300, but as the savior of an entire race. A worthy death, I guarantee. You will face horrors, before which this Hydra is but a simple worm. You will have a final battle that will shake the very foundations of Hades. Or perhaps, she adds, her voice dropping to a whisper, perhaps you only want a reason to keep living one more day. I offer you a purpose, Arian. Something you lost a long time ago. Her words strike true with the precision of her arrows. A purpose. I have spent months wandering, fighting, surviving with no reason beyond the next dawn. The thought that my death, or my life, might mean something. It is a sweeter, more dangerous poison than the Hydra's. Very well, I say, my voice firm for the first time in years. Tell me what I must do. A relieved, fleeting smile crosses her lips. The journey comes first. The heart of the withering lies at the center of the forest, where no centaur may enter. The curse is too strong for our souls, but you, as a mortal, can withstand it, at least for a time. From a leather pouch at her flank, she draws a small pendant. It is a polished silver acorn that seems to glow with its own light. This is the light of Sylvanus. As long as you carry it, it will shield you from the worst illusions of the forest. But be careful, Arian. The forest does not only spawn monsters of flesh and bone. It will create monsters with the faces of your fears. It will turn your own guilt against you. She hands me the acorn. As I touch it, warmth spreads through my hand, easing some of the pain from my wounds. When our fingers brush, I feel a strange connection. Her vital strength mingled with her deep sorrow. And you? I ask her. Aren't you coming? She shakes her head, pointing to the wound at her side. I am injured. and my presence would only strengthen the curse near the heart. But I will guide you. My voice will speak within your mind. I will show you the path. But the fight must be yours. I rise, using the tree trunk for support. My body protests, but the silver acorn in my hand seems to grant me new strength. Very well, Lyra. Show me the path to this final battle. The second day is worse than the first. The forest twists around me. The trees whisper with the voices of the men who died under my command. I see their faces in the puddles, their accusing eyes staring at me from the mist. You abandoned us, Arion, hisses the voice of Demetrios, my second in command, as a thorned vine coils around my ankle. It is not real, I tell myself, slashing through the vine. They are only shadows. Your pride killed us, comes Lyra's voice in my mind, clear and steady. It is not your fault. Guilt is the poison this place uses against you. Keep going. Ignore them. Her voice becomes my anchor. She guides me through swamps that try to drown me with hands of mud, warns me of spiders, the size of wolves, weaving webs of barbed wire. We share a silence that speaks more than words. I tell her of Sparta, of the weight of the shield and spear. She tells me of her people, of the dances under the full moon they no longer celebrate, of the sound of foals running through the meadows, a sound that now lives only in her memory. I discover that her strength lies not only in her bow, but in her indomitable will. She has watched her entire people fade away, and still she fights. I begin to fight not only for my own redemption, but for her, for the hope in her weary eyes. At dawn on the third day, I arrive. The air turns icy, carrying the scent of dust and decay. The trees here are utterly dead, mere gray skeletons clawing at a starless sky. In the center of the clearing lies a crater, and at the bottom of the crater, something beats. It is a knot of blackened roots and corrupted stone, the size of a chariot. It pulses with a sickly, putrid light, and with every beat, a wave of despair spreads through the air. The heart of the withering. You have found it, Lyra's voice whispers in my head. But it sounds weaker, more distant. Now, Arion, you must use the light, plant it at its center, release the life it has stolen. I draw out the silver acorn. It glows brightly, like a star in the darkest night, shielding me from the wave of nausea that radiates from the heart. I descend into the crater, each step heavier than the last. The shadows around me swirl, taking the shapes of the 300 dead Spartans. But this time, they do not accuse me. They simply watch, waiting. I stand within arm's reach of the pulsing heart. The energy it releases is so cold, it burns my skin. Lyra, I say aloud, what will happen when I do it? There is a pause, the silence stretches. Lyra, the light will release the life energy the heart has been hoarding for a century, she finally answers, her voice tinged with an emotion I cannot decipher. The forest will heal. The water will be pure again. My people will be able to live once more. But, I say, feeling an icy knot in my stomach, there is a price, isn't there? In the old stories, there is always a price. The silence returns, heavier this time. Through our connection, I feel her agony. The curse is bound to the very essence of this land. She says, her voice breaking. It cannot simply be destroyed. It must be replaced. The energy released needs an anchor, a vessel to contain it before it can flow back into the earth. A soul. My hand holding the acorn freezes. A soul, human, a strong soul, She corrects, and now I can hear that she is weeping. A soul full of life and potential. The soul of a warrior, unafraid of death. I am sorry, Aryan. I did not lie to you. I did not tell you the whole truth. Not until you could see with your own eyes what you were fighting for. I could not ask you for this sacrifice without you understanding. I look at the pulsing heart. I look at the shadows of my men. I understand. My redemption. My worthy death. It was never a choice between them. They were always the same. This is the end of my exile. My final battle. I laugh, a sound bitter and freeing. One life for an entire race. A Spartan could not ask for a more honorable trade. Aryan, you don't have to, she begins. Yes, I do, I cut her off, my voice filled with a calm I have not felt since before the battle that condemned me. A Spartan pays his debts, Lyra. I raise the silver acorn, preparing for the final strike. This is my chance to balance the scales. For my men, for her, for the foals that will one day run through these forests again. Just as my arm begins to descend, a voice speaks from the heart itself. It is not in my mind. It is in the air, cold as the grave and ancient as the stars. There is another way. I freeze, shocked. A humanoid figure woven from shadows and putrid energy slowly rises from the center of the heart. It has no face, only two malevolent points of light. It is the consciousness of the curse, the echo of the dead god. She offers you death so that her mediocre species may live, the entity hisses. She uses you as a tool, warrior, but I offer you power. The power of this forest is mine. Plant it, yes, but not as a sacrifice. Plant it as a pact. Bind your soul to mine. Together, we will not only heal this forest, we will rule it. The monsters will kneel before you. Kings will tremble at the sound of your name. You will not be a ghost, remembered for his failure. You will be a god. I stand frozen. The silver acorn trembles in my hand, glowing against the darkness of the offer. Behind me, I feel Lyra's desperate hope. Before me, the infinite power the darkness promises. Sacrifice and redemption, or power and dominion. The death of a hero, or the life of a monstrous king. The shadowed figure extends a hand made of night. Choose, Spartan.